Imagine this. You're able to never get bored again. You're away from your phone and you feel complete peacefulness, and you don't feel an urge to scroll social media. You always feel productive, even when just sitting around and wasting your time. You're able to sit down every day and do nothing but learn. Imagine you're able to watch hour-long videos that aren't entertaining in the slightest to the average person, but are really interesting to you. Videos that contain extremely useful information that will improve your life. People around you ask what you're doing or something, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just watching a 3-hour podcast on the science and importance of sleep." You may be saying, "That sounds ridiculous. No one sits around and listens to podcasts for 3 hours without interruption and just wants to learn." I do. I do this. Instead of destroying my dopamine receptors and filling my brain with nonsense and with memes and endless scrolling, in my free time, I watch informational podcasts about science, neuroscience, of taking care of myself, or how to do that better, basically. If I'm really bored, I'll watch a podcast of someone having a conversation about something more interesting, more like kind of random topics that aren't super informational. And this will just kind of be my fun, like time waster, basically. Now you're probably saying this is stupid. I'm not going to sit around all day, every day, and do nothing but learn. Or you're saying that you don't feel a need to do any of this, that nothing in your life is missing, or that you don't waste, or that you don't want to waste your time. I'm here to tell you that you already waste your time enough. Might as well learn something and improve your life. You have two voices in your head. You have that voice that tells you to be comfortable, to not do anything. Nothing crazy today. Let's just chill. Let's be comfortable. Lazy, right? And then you have that other voice that tells you to go to the gym, do something difficult today, or don't waste your time today. Right now, you're confusing your baby voice. When you tell me that you don't want to waste your time. You're confusing your baby voice with your boss voice, the one that wants you to be productive. I want you to do something right now. Click off of this video and go to your settings. Then click General and then iPhone storage. How much time do you spend on social media every single day? I'm willing to bet that it's more than 2 hours daily. At the end of every single day, at the end of your scrolling period every day, I bet that you have a sense of guilt. You feel like, oh man, where did my day go? I keep wasting my time. What could I do better? And no answers come to mind to solve your solution and to make you feel better. So the next day, what do? You just do the same thing once again. With all of this time that you spend filling your brain with nonsense and propaganda, you could be learning about the real world, how to build something, learning more about yourself. Are you the type of person that has a lot of energy and you want to do something with your life, but you don't really know what it is? I know why you don't know what you want to do. It's because you spend too much time scrolling and you never allow your brain to think about what you want to do. You need to be bored and alone with your thoughts. Now, how do I know all this? Who am I and how can I help? My name is Max, and I've always been someone with big dreams who wants to do something with my life. I never really knew what it was or how I would get there. I've always kind of had ideas of what I want to do. You know, be a YouTuber, have a lot of money, invest my money, meet new people, be jacked. But I never really had any path or vehicle in my mind to say, uh, to really allow me to get there or to get close to having that life that I wanted. And on top of not knowing what I wanted to do, I also didn't actually have the discipline to do anything to get there. Discipline is so important because it allows you to keep promises to yourself that you make and do what you said you would do. How do you get more discipline? By exercising the action of doing difficult things that you don't want to do, especially when you don't want to do it. There's a part of your brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. This part of the brain is literally responsible for discipline, and whenever you do something difficult that you don't want to do, it actually grows in size. A part of your brain is literally responsible for discipline, and it grows in size when you do something difficult. Basically, when you do something difficult that you don't want to do, basically it gets easier and easier every time you do it. This is important because if you want something, you just have to think, what would someone that has this thing do to maintain it? If you're overweight and you want to lose weight, think, what would a healthy person do? So to loop back to the imagination at the beginning, if you could never get bored, what would someone who doesn't get bored do? They would watch things that are interesting, to learn, not for entertainment. This is also known as a dopamine detox. And I'm pushing this because it will make you a better person. I'm telling you, from my own personal experience, I feel like a completely different person when I'm on this practice versus when I'm not. I'm watching TikTok and Instagram reels all day. I feel bored when I'm not on them. I feel a withdrawal from these apps that cause negative emotion, and I feel annoyed and irritable. When I'm on a dopamine detox, not on social media, I feel like I'm always being productive, even when I'm just sitting around wasting my time on podcasts. I feel patient and calm. Now, what are the next actionable steps that you can do to do a dopamine detox and never be bored again? Before you do anything, I have to inform you that it's going to be difficult at first. You're an addict, okay? You're going to feel resistance at first, but the more you practice it, the better it will get. Now, number one, I would say delete TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. Every social media app that you use to waste your time, that you look at for no reason, get rid of it. Except YouTube, you can use YouTube to learn, and I usually use YouTube mostly for my podcast. You need to practice doing it, not doing it at all. Now, you need something to do with all of your new free time since you won't be on social media at all. I would recommend watching full-length podcasts. I'm not talking about the Joe Rogan clips that are 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I mean the full-length podcast. I recommend a neuroscientist's full-length podcast. His name is Andrew Huberman. You've probably heard of him before. You can look him up on YouTube, and they'll just come right up. I recommend starting with his dopamine videos to get some information on how to dopamine detox and learn about how it really works. Now, whenever you have free time to chill and do nothing, if you're in public, don't go on your phone, don't listen to anything, just sit there and let yourself be bored and be with your thoughts. It's good for you. It will allow you to learn more about yourself. If you need something to do, if you are sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I need my phone, I need something to do, listen to an audiobook or listen to a podcast, but do not watch anything. This is only for the beginning. Once you become more experienced with it and your dopamine receptors become more sensitive, then you're able to watch things in public, but you're probably not really going to want to because you're going to be more entertained with the outside world and what's going on around you. You're going to be thinking in your own thoughts, you know, and you're going to have ideas, and you're going to find yourself there. That is how you find yourself. So basically, but if you're just sitting at home and you're eating or, you know, you're just chilling and you want something to do, let's say you would normally go on TikTok or start binge watching a show, instead start a podcast. And within 2 weeks of following this protocol, you will never get bored again. You will become the person that you want to be.